well. Welcome to my live. My name is Beloved, and today on Therapy Thursday, we're talking about grief. Now, it's a time and a place for everything, and it seems like right now is a time to grieve. So many people have been lost. So many people have been, hospitalized. So many people have just been going through so much, and I just want you guys to know that grieving, there is no expiration date, but there is a time and a place. Okay, it's a time for everything, a time to grieve, a time to do this, a time to do that. So, right now, in this grieving point, we want to, you guys can also comment down below ways that you deal with grief and stuff like that, because somebody might not know how to grieve. Some people grieve differently as well, so don't ever look at someone differently based on how they grieve. So we do have a special guest today, and they actually dealt with some grieving, but before I get into that, I really want to share a quick testimony about this and how I came about this amazing guest. So I'm in the car, and I'm tussling with God, because when you talk about grieving, you want to be careful with your words. You want to be careful who you speak it to. So I, needed and wanted a guest for the grieving today. And I'm like, I don't want to ask that question. God is like, ask. I'm not telling you something I don't already know. So that automatically, when he shuts me down, I'll be like, okay, Daddy God. So I end up asking this amazing guest, and they're like, man, it's funny that you asked, because literally last week they dealt with a loss in the family. And more than one loss at that. So I'm just thankful of being obedient to God, and I'm going to go ahead and ask this special guest some questions. The first question is, how are you feeling today? How are you feeling during this loss?
It's been a journey. It's been a traumatic experience. To be honest with you, it's still surreal. So I'm taking it step by step. I'm leaning on God. I'm a spiritual brother. I pray every day. I believe in seeking peace from God. So I'm just basically day by day dealing with it. But it hasn't truly hit me yet. So I'm actually dealing with it a little bit.
Gotcha. And that's normal. So don't think there's something wrong with you. It's normal. Some people don't feel it right away. Hello. People that are coming in and who have been waiting, I thank you so much for your patience. So the second question is, could you tell me about your loved one?
Yes.
That passed.
He's my great uncle. A very loving guy. He's pretty much, I'm from Haiti. So we have sections in Haiti where we have like patrons, people who are well respected, who makes basically like a father to the neighborhood, and he was that. And I was just in Haiti a few weeks ago, and I saw him. He was very healthy, so it really hit home, because he's really an influential person in our neighborhood. So, but he was just well loved, well respected. That even right now, people are in shock, and it's been a week, almost a week and a half.
Man. Well, that's good to know. He was a good person and things like that. And we don't know what goes on behind closed doors. So we don't know why some people perish. We know that we are all expected to die one day, but we don't know the reason behind the matter. Only our Heavenly Father does. And
Amen.
Yeah. And so the last question I want to ask is, what advice could you give someone in time of grieving? And what are some good ways that help you cope with grieving? It's like a two-part question.
Right. Well, first, I can honestly tell you, I don't think there's any tailor-made advice for people, because everybody grieves in their own way.
Mm-hmm.
But what worked for me personally is I have a connection with God. I have a relationship with God. And everything that happens in my life, first thing I do is I lean over to Him. Because, the Bible says He knew me when I was in my mother's womb. So He knew this moment was going to come. So I always have a relationship with God. I have my meditation in the morning. I read my Bible and I pray. So whenever I get a bad news, even in the morning, I automatically leave it on to God, because He's the one who's going to help me manage the situation. Because at this moment, I'm not the only person grieving. Other family members are grieving, and I may be a support to them. So that's the advice I would say. If you have any relationship with God, if you're seeking a relationship with God, now's a good time for you to do that, because He's the only one who can help you through the grief. Because nobody else can help you. You know, He understands the level of your grief. He understood it. He knew it was going to happen before it happened, so He knows how it's going to help you out of it. I forgot the second question.
What was it? What? I think you answered both. Because it was, you know, because you're right. It's hard to give advice and that type of thing.
Right.
So that's why it's kind of like a two-part question. Because the second question was like, what are some good ways that help you cope? So I believe you did answer both.
Yeah, well, I can answer that a little bit further.
Okay,
Personally, some good ways to help cope is to see the positivity out of that. It's the hardest time to do that, but I have to see the positivity of that, because, and I also, back to what I said, have faith in God, so whatever happens, He has control over it. I have to do that. I try to see the positivity of it all, and I try to be a rock for those who need, because I understand that what I'm going through, somebody else is going through it. I try to see all the positivity out of it, the light out of the end of the tunnel that's going to help me out of the situation, because most of the time, when we're dealing with grief, we are submerged into that grief to a point that we're lost. And in reality, everything happens for a reason. Everything happens in life. Even the most hideous thing happens for a reason. We got to find that reason. Of course, at the moment of our grief, we don't understand that reason. Better yet, we don't even want to know about the reason. But it is those mind frames that's going to help you maneuver through the grief. To first of all, lean on to God. Second of all, see the positive of it. And third of all, let it go. Let God take care of it, because He has a reason. He knows why. He knows why it happened, and He knows how He's going to help you out of it.
I love that. I love that. I love that. That is amazing, because people need to know that as much as we are grieving everything, it is the time.
Yes.
Every day is the time to get right with God, to look. Even if, I always say this, it's better to believe than allow it to be too late to believe.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Even if like it's hard to believe, all you need is that little mustard grain of faith, because when you find out it's real and you miss that train to get on to the happy place,
right,
man, that's the worst feeling ever. I don't know. I don't want to know. I'm not going to know. But I always say that to people, like, why don't allow the enemy to confuse you so much that you don't want to believe, you know? It's really a time to really, really, really get down and dirty, because there's too many people that are being lost at a young age. Even it being in your 60s is a young age. Anything less than 100 is a young age, guys.
That's true.
It really is.
Well, if you mind me add one more thing, I just want to share this quick. I just had an older lady I was giving a ride to. She's in her 80s, and the first thing I asked her, "How you doing today?" She said, "I'm alive." And to some, we take that for granted.
Oh my gosh!
We take life for granted because we are so consumed with our dreams and aspirations and trying to attain some materialistic goal, and we forgot that life is one of the biggest blessings God can give us, that we take for granted every single day.
Oh
to
my
be able to wake up in the morning, to walk, to touch, to feel, to think, to see, these are blessings in itself. I'll be honest with you, we are wealthy with health. And when we're wealthy with wealth and have no health. So we count this blessing every day. These things, that's what I say, these things that happen in our life are lessons for us, you know. And the Bible, Proverbs says, a fool learns from his mistake after his third mistake. A smart person learns after his first mistake. But a wise learns from someone else's mistake. So when something happens, this is God communicating with life in order because you could be like this person. This could happen to you.
Mm-hmm.
So take your life. Don't take your life for granted because I'm giving you a gift of life because some people don't even have it. So that's what I wanted to share with you. I'm sorry if I take your time.
Oh, no, you're fine. And I'm glad you shared that because right before my situation happened with my leg, I had a revelation about life. And I was just super thankful I was alive. And in the hospital, when I was there for like almost 2 months, I almost died a couple times. So,
Wow.
so knowing that every day I wake up is so different than the last since birth, how I thought of a day. Like when you get that revelation and then when you go through something to make that revelation even on another level, it's powerful. Like people don't understand how amazing life is.
Yes, that's true.
Yes,
That's true.
I love it. I love it.
Most of us, we don't need to go to a near-death experience to appreciate life.
And
most of us, we wait for that near-death experience, then we start appreciating life.
And that's not good.
I hear this phrase a lot in America, give the person their flowers, and I never understood it until it made sense to me.
Yes.
We bring the best flowers for the dead, but we never bring the flowers for the living.
Isn't that crazy?
You know what I'm saying? Like, we decorate the dead, their tombs with the biggest and most expensive flower, but when they're alive, we give them zero.
And that's sad. We got to make that the new normal. Hashtag give me my flowers today.
Now, exactly. Appreciate now. Share the moments now. Enjoy each other now. You know, I tell people this every day. If you wake up every day on a positive mind, you're in control of your day right now. Because right now, anything negative that comes your way, you'll be able to see it. It's like you have the light, you can see the darkness. But when you wake up in a negative mind, you're actually in the darkness. You don't even need to see when the darkness is coming your way because you're already in it.
Exactly.
You don't even see the things wrong because you are consumed in it.
Yeah.
But when you wake up with a positive mind, in a bright spirit, you're in control of your day. Everything that's negative, you can tell it, you can see it, you can maneuver it, you can deal with it. So I urge everyone to have a relationship with God and wake up in a positive mind. Find everything positive. Because the world is full of negative.
It is. It's too much negative. And stop watching the news. Because that is...
well, yeah.
Because that's harmful.
Stay informed, but don't get misinformed.
Exactly. Do your research, you know, and pray, you know, pray in the spirit if you got to, because God said, my people will pray, worship me in spirit and in truth. When you don't know what to say, pray in the spirit.
That's right.
So
that's powerful.
Oh, yeah. Yes. And people don't know how serious that is because the spirit knows the future. So when you don't know what to pray for, when you pray in the spirit or even just talk to God in the spirit, things are moving accordingly and you will see results and you will be mind blowing. Like test it for a week, speak in tongues for a week, all day if you got to, and watch how powerful things start to work and happen in your life and in other people's life. You know, it sounds crazy, but it works every time. Every time I do it, it works, and I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
I'm blessed by your words. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And thank you so much for being on today's show. I really appreciate it. I have one question before I let you go. This has nothing to do with grieving, but because I heard you say you're from Hades, I have to ask. Now, have you lived out there before, or have you been here in America?
Yes. I've lived in Haiti for 7 years. I've been here since '93.
Okay.
So I've been for basically all my life. I was raised here.
Okay.
But, I travel to Haiti because it's still my country. You know?
Right, and that's good.
Yeah.
So my question is, have you seen a mermaid?
No, I've never laid eyes on a mermaid. Never did, and I don't think I will. But I never did.
Yeah, because I heard they're by the Hades beaches.
I don't know if it's a mythical being or whatever. I heard people who say they saw something similar, but I never laid out on such thing. I don't even know if I would remember.
Yeah, because God said there are creatures under the sea.
Yeah. I'm sure there is, but I've never seen it. And if I do, I don't think they'll look as pretty as a Little Mermaid or something like that.
No, the way America portrays mermaids is not the way real mermaids look. So
that's right.
America
But
always try to deceive the looks.
yeah, I mean, it's a good way. That's one thing I learned about America. There are a lot of, again, there are a lot of positive and then there are a lot of negative, but I applaud the people who uses the negative and turn it into a positive energy for people.
Right.
You know
Yep.
what I'm saying? Because like I said, if you look at the news, if you want negativity, just turn on the news, look at social media. So it's
Mm-hmm.
harder for us to consume. It's easier for us to consume negativity than for us to actually embrace positivity because we're surrounded so much. It becomes normal. And
Yes.
some people are, I call it, what's the word? Go to withdrawal
Mm-hmm.
of negativity if they don't have it. So they, if you know, like some people, if you're nice to them, they're like, why are you nice to me? But I mean,
Isn't
the
that
question is,
crazy?
nice because,
I get that all the time. People are like,
yeah,
"Oh my God, why are you so nice?" Like
because,
they would say that to me a million times. I'm like, "What do you
yeah,
mean?" Like it hurts my heart when people
because,
do not expect people to be nice.
well, don't blame them because they're consumed with negativity. They're used to people conniving them. They're used to people taking advantage of them. So when you are a nice person, they wonder, are you one of them trying to trick them? Unfortunately, that's why I say every day, if you stay consistently positive, you're not in control of your life. You can't
Yes,
change. You can't change who you are based on the circumstance. You change the circumstance based on who you are.
I
You know
agree.
what I'm saying? So
Yep.
that's what I live by. So wherever I go, I'm who I am. I'm not going to change who I am to adapt to where I am. I'm going to change who I am to adapt to who I am. So I will never change that because God made me a specific way and He made no mistake. God
Yep.
created you in my image, so He gave you the power to be control of yourself. So
Mm-hmm.
what it is, get consumed by our environment that we forgot who we are. No. Don't change who you are for your environment. Change your environment for who you are.
Yep.
So that's what
Yep.
I wanted to say.
Yep. And I love it. And I thank you so much. And I hope you have a
Welcome.
fantastic day on purpose.
You too. Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing. I'm gonna keep following you now. I'm gonna get up there. As soon as I get home, I'm gonna get on YouTube and follow you.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And always share the videos.
Most deaf. You have a blessed day.
All right. You too.
All right.
Bye. Wow, guys. That was amazing. And I'm going to end this video here. Uh, but I also want, before I end the video, I want you guys to know that there are, you know, there are different types of grieving. You can be grieving from someone dying. You can be grieving from a breakup from someone you thought you were going to spend the rest of your life with. You can be grieving from a child moving out the nest. You can be grieving from a loss of employment or business. You can be grieving from so many things. So, you know, most people think that grieving is just from a death. No, there's a loss of everything. You could be grieving from somebody you losing all your money or something. I don't know what the case may be, but it's considered a loss. Okay. So understand there's a time and a place. Don't now, it's okay to grieve, but don't stay there. Don't stay there. Some people stay there till they die. And then that is not a life you want to live. And that's not a life you want to be have an example for your kids or for the whoever the person died. That's not a good example. They die for nothing then. You know, if you don't have nothing to live for, then whatever that person stood for, whether it was a loss of a loved one or all the other things, if there was something positive out of that situation, go for it. Make it happen. Make it worldwide. Make a change in the world. Be the change you want to see in the world. Okay? I grieve differently, right? Honestly, I don't even know how to grieve, to be honest with you. I don't. I just know I don't grieve like everybody else. Like, for example, if somebody died, I'm not crying. I'm not, oh, you know, I'm not this, that, and third. I am in the back of my mind like, wow, I can't believe they're gone. I don't know. I guess it's because I feel that I'm in the word, and the word says we will die one day. We live to die, but we live to die from the flesh. You know what I mean? So one day I will see that person again if they make it to heaven. You get what I'm saying? So I don't look at it as, I just look at it, I'll see you again soon or see you later. That's why I never tell my kids bye. I always say see you later. Anybody I talk to. Like sometimes I'll be on the phone with a bill collector, I almost slip up and be like, see you later. You get what I'm saying? Like I'm gonna see them. No, I'm never gonna see y'all. But because I say it so much, you know, it's a habit of nature. But all I'm saying is I don't grieve like everybody else. And some people might look at me crazy, like, why aren't you crying? Now, if somebody else is crying and they crying and they crying, then yeah, you might see a little tear because tears are contagious. But to know or to go crazy or to fall into depression or to not want to do anything, I don't know. Maybe I had someone close. Let me see. Not that close to me. Like what I consider close to me is a child or a parent. Them the only things that I see, or maybe a sister and brother. Those are the only things that I see close. You know, even maybe auntie and uncle. You know, grandparent. But um, well, let me people who are in my life like that. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to that outside close from parents and kids. Um, then I don't know. You get what I'm saying? Like I did have someone close to me, you know, die recently. Like literally, it'll be a year next month. It'll be a whole year since she's been gone. But I live here and she lived in Wisconsin, so we weren't that close. But when I was in Wisconsin, I would be at her house. I would do this, you know, do whatever. So we were close. It did hurt me, but it's just like I don't even know how to explain it. It's just I guess I see like when it comes to death. I'm not talking about anything else because honestly, I do things same thing with anything else. Like if I lose a job, I'd be like, oh dang, I lost a job. Okay, let me go find another one, or this is lacking, or my kids acting up, or da 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 da. I just maybe I don't know how to grieve. You get what I'm saying? But at this point, my mindset is on a different level, and everybody has different levels. Just like when it comes to faith, everybody has their own measure of faith. So this is why I say don't judge people based on how they grieve. Even if they do fall into depression, that's okay. That comes with grieving sometimes. All I'm saying is don't stay in grief mode because there is a time for everything. Okay? It is a time for everything. Don't let it be 10 years down the line and you still grieving. You still in depression. You don't come outside. You don't fix your hair. You don't take a bath. You don't feed your kids or whatever the case may be. Don't let it be 10 years down the line and you still grieving off someone that honestly probably wouldn't have even grieved over you. You know what I mean? So be careful with that when it comes to staying in grieve mode because a lot of people can. And it seemed like we are staying in grieve mode because it seemed like we taking loss after loss. But I'm telling you guys, honor thy father and mother so your life can be long, and follow God's commandments within the heart because he said he will write the laws on your heart. So just follow him, listen to him, and your days will be long. Right? That's just like a little protection prayer for you guys to not prayer but instruction, I guess I could say. But I don't really want to speak too much long about this because grieving is hard for people and you honestly really don't know what to say at times. That's why it's so important to have God on your back and for you to know to say what God tells you to say and do what God tells you to do versus what you want to do out of emotion or feelings or whatever the case may be, because grieving is a hard time for everyone, regardless if you don't know how to grieve like me. You know, it is a hard time for everyone, and sometimes we got to figure out how to grieve, because if not, you're going to keep running yourself to the ground. You're going to burn out, and you don't want to do that. So my condolences to anybody who has lost anything or anyone. May they rest in peace, and I pray to God that they got their life right with God before they died. I pray to God that they believed in Jesus Christ, their Lord and Savior, because He died so we can kick it and party. All right, y'all, I'm gone. Have a fantastic day on purpose. Okay, I love you guys so much. Don't forget to like, share, and comment, and subscribe to my channel.